All right, guys, I got another video on this swap. Finally got the cab up off the truck where I cut it, and the bed's out on a trailer. This will be next. I got to push the truck forward. I got to move all this interior stuff. Push the truck forward, then I'm gonna set it down on that frame, then roll it back towards the door and come get it with the tractor like I did the bed. But let me start on the bed real quick to show y'all what I had to go through. So when y'all do this, or if you have to take your bed off, you can see that's got like a keeper on it. It keeps it from spinning. You know, it'll lock it in place, and then the nut is welded to it. It's supposed to work, but you can see that better right there, yeah. 4 out of my 8 came out easy. They came out simple. The other 4, I put heat on the nut side of this, on the back side. I put heat on it and just worked the impact back and forth. And it was one of those torque 50 big old bit. And this is the only one I could not get out. And as you can see, what I did was I just took a cut-off wheel, went like this, and you got to cut through the washer too, and the bed lifted right over it. To get it off, you can just beat them through, or you cut this here and beat it through is what I'm gonna end up doing. But you know, I had to take the gooseneck hitch, or whatever you call the flip hitch, out, and I still got to remove the back bumper, and I'll leave that hitch in, and then I got to remove all the wiring, all the fuel stuff before I start cutting on the frame. As far as the cab goes, you know, I left a lot of stuff here because I wasn't sure what all I'm gonna need. You know, with the AC box bolts back up, you know, it's got to go up underneath that, so I wanted to leave this, you know, that's the outside air intake. I wanted to leave that there. So I kind of left all that stuff there, just depending on what I'm going to use and what I'm not, because this other cab, it's a little different. It's a lot different, but it's hard to see with the corner, but you know, there's no fresh air intake thing, because this truck had AC, but that's too hard to see against the wall. But what I did was I only cut out, because I'm going single cab. That's the bolt. That's the bolt hole. And so it measured about 3 inches to the back of the cab. So that's where the bolt hole is for this crew cab. So I gave myself about 4 or 5 inches. And then I popped a line straight across. It didn't have to be straight. I know I'm gonna have to trim it because this is flat, and this raises up in the back, because that's where, you know, on the single cab, they all raise up like that to the back of the cab. You can see that raised up like that. So if you're doing a 4-door, if you're doing a crew cab like this one is, you would just keep cutting along, and you would keep that hump. You'd want to keep that hump in the back, so you'd cut right along the firewall, or not the firewall, but that back of the cab, and you would pretty much just lift this whole frame out, and you just keep the whole floor. Me, I just wanted the single cab part, so I'm probably going to end up, there's no telling, I need to measure. I need to cut the bottom out of this one and set it on top and just start cutting, because I might not need all this kind of stuff. I don't know yet. I know I didn't need all that, but you can see where I cut. It's not the straightest lines on some. I just tried to hug it as much as I could to save as much metal as I could. But that's pretty much where I'm at. I've got I got all the AC stuff kind of just pulled out and hanging so I can move it around as I was cutting stuff. But yeah, I got to get the cab out of the truck, and then I've already measured for the frame. I need to take this exhaust out too. I'm gonna redo the exhaust, and it's got this, you could probably see it. It's got this ready lift, these big old spacers, which I don't necessarily like. I'm gonna see if I can get factory ones to put back on there, and then I want to take this off too. And the guy that put this on there, I don't know if the previous owner put it on there or not, but I've been finding a lot of mistakes with this truck that I wouldn't have done. But those are factory shocks, right? And you could see where the color change is, meaning before the ready lift was put on, that's how far the shock came down. These are factory shocks. They're not, you know, you're raising this bracket up, you know, and you're not compensating for shock, so you're overextending that shock. And the same on the back. You know, the backs are now overextended because you're raising the frame up. So again, you've got that couple inches right there. And it may not be a big deal. I don't know. I'm just going to go back factory. But I'm going to do a leveling kit like I did on my 06, which is you replace this spring with one that's a little bit taller. You got the compensation for the, you get the compensation for the shocks, which I'm going to put new shocks all the way around. And some other little things to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to say that the hard part was done, but I think grafting it together is going to be the hard part, especially the air conditioning and the top of the firewall. I might have to cut more of this out. I may have to hug this, or may have to cut it just on that Y. I don't know, but I need this bracket for the brakes. You know, this thick bracket. The clutch, this is where the clutch would go if you got a stick. So you all this needs to be kept for that reason, for support. Yeah, I know the parking brake is still in here because I didn't need to get it out to cut the floor, but I will once I mate the old cab to this. I'm gonna end up pulling it off. That way it's easier for me to weld it all up. That, and I'll be able to pull the heads off this thing, put new injectors, I'm gonna stud it with gaskets and all that stuff. So, and then there's a lot of stuff I need to order, but what I did was I kind of measured this wheelbase, and on these crew cab long beds, it's 173 inches, I think, 173, 172. I need to look again. And on this old truck, which I kept just for now, the wheelbase, I want to say is 161, 162. No, it's less than that, I'm sorry. It's a 39 inch difference, whatever that comes out to. I just remember 39 inches. And so I measured 39 inches, and I came up with that mark there, and there's that mark down there, right? So I'm cutting it. I'll cut it right before it starts to turn up on that hump right there. I'm gonna cut it right here, and then 39 inches down that way. And there's a couple different ways to do it. I've seen all different kind of ways. I saw a 72 Ford that had a 7.3 in it. He cut his frame. You know, he cut his frame straight like that. And then there's the Z, and then there's also you can do, that's not very good, but you do a 45. Now people say, I've seen it done like this. People say it'll crack easier. You do it this way. I was gonna do it this way, and then on the back side, do like a plate, or a diamond shaped plate, fish plated on the back. I don't know how much room I have now looking at it, so I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go. I think I have enough room, because you only should need a couple of inches to make this turn. I've seen some people do like a 6-inch, where it comes way down when you do a short bed, long bed to short bed conversion. But since I don't have too much room, I might have to do just like this, a 2-inch cut, and go back down. And hopefully that's enough. But that's later, after I get the cab on and take it off. And if I have to do a straight cut, I got to do a straight cut. I'll just really reinforce it. I'll channel it on the other side, do whatever I got to do. But you can see right here is the mark where I started. So the skid plate's going to come off. Once it gets well back together, I'll put it back together. But I can't, this has to stay. That's the transmission cross member. I know it's kind of hard to see in the dark. But that's where I'm at. It may be slow from here on out because I've got to get my wisdom teeth pulled. Today's Halloween. I start work tomorrow. And then next week, I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled. So only thing I might be able to do is get this out and wheel the rolling chassis out and get this on the lift. And that might be it. So anyways, I hope this helps anybody. If you got any questions, let me know. I appreciate it.